Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So the 73-year-old Indiana resident Dale Huttle was described by the prosecutors as, quote, one of the more violent participants in the assault on the United States Capitol. So here's what all went down. After Trump's speech, Huttle walked to the Capitol. He was with his nephew, who was also his co-defendant, Matthew Huttle. Huttle was seen carrying a flagpole. It had an upside-down flag on it. And his nephew was heard on video saying, quote, we're going to see if we can get inside. So when they reached the Capitol grounds, Huttle's nephew remarked about how many police there were, and he questioned whether or not they were going to be able to get close enough to the building. Well, Huttle was heard telling him, quote, I think we ought to bum rush the Capitol building. Arrest them all. We've got enough people to do that. So Huttle and his nephew made their way to the front of the police line. Huttle was heard berating the police. He was yelling at them things like, quote, you can't stop a million of us. We're taking this house, just so you know. Within a short period of time, Trump's terrorists rushed the police line. They started pulling the security barricades away from them. And as the police were trying to wrestle the barricades away from the mob, Huttle was seen on video. He lunged forward and he used his flagpole and he jabbed it into an officer's stomach. So that officer fell backwards. And they were on concrete steps. So he fell backward on the concrete steps. Huttle continued to strike him with the flagpole while the guy's on the ground. And as a result of that fall, the officer ended up slipping a disc in his back. So according to the prosecutor, this injury is permanent. He is still, to this day, suffering in pain. He goes for regular medical treatments because of it. And that wasn't the only attack. So Huttle continued on. There was another officer who also fell down because he was fighting to try to get control over these barricades. And when he fell, Huttle jabbed that officer with his flagpole as well. And that attack caused that officer to slide down the stairs toward Trump's terrorists. So as other officers tried to help that officer up, Huttle continued to strike him with the flagpole. So after physically attacking the police there, Huttle stayed on the front of the police lines. He was yelling at the officers. He was warning them about more violence. He said things like, quote, look all the way back there. There's a million of us. You think you can stop us? You can't. You might as well just back off. So these people are so bad at estimating crowd size. Anyway, he also said, quote, it's going to get real ugly if you don't let us in. Quote, we're going to rush those motherfuckers in there. And quote, I got pepper spray too. So eventually, the police were forced to retreat from their position because they were so outnumbered. They were completely surrounded at one point. And so what they did was they ran towards this makeshift staircase, or was like a temporary staircase. They, retreated, and Huttle and the rest of the mob chased after them. So some of the officers started to go up this staircase. It was like an enclosed box, sort of. And so they ran up that escape route to the upper level of the Capitol. But there were other officers who stayed behind to protect them. While they made their escape, they stayed behind, were fighting people off. Well, Huttle was at the front of the mob again. He was at the front of the police line. And so he took that opportunity when now they were really outnumbered and they had their back literally against a wall. He was seen on video grabbing at an officer's face mask. He grabbed the officer's gas mask and tried to pull it off. Then a few minutes after that, another member of the mob sprayed the police with some sort of chemical. So at the same time, Huttle reached over, he grabbed that same officer's baton, the one whose gas mask he was trying to get, and he tried to yank the baton away from him. Now, I'm not sure where Huttle's flagpole went by this time, but the sentencing memo said that he grabbed someone else's flagpole and he stepped toward the police again, as if he was maybe going to harm them again. And he was yelling at them to surrender, that they should leave. Well, luckily, the officer was able to get the flagpole away from Huttle. He disarmed him, and that seemed to end his violence for the day. He remained on the Capitol grounds until after 5 p.m., they said, but he didn't attack anyone after that point. So Huttle was arrested on November 17th of 2022, and he was charged with 3 counts of assaulting officers. 2 of those charges included a dangerous weapon enhancement, civil disorder, entering restricted grounds with a dangerous weapon, disorderly conduct on restricted grounds with a dangerous weapon, and 2 counts of physical violence, one of which also included that dangerous weapon enhancement. So following Huttle's arrest, he did an interview with CBS affiliate or a CBS affiliate, and he told the reporter, quote, "We were invited down to the Capitol by the President of the United States. We were not there illegally. We were invited by the President himself. I'm not ashamed of being there. It was our duty as patriots, the ultimate patriot, because I put myself on the line to defend the country. And I have no regrets. I will not say I'm sorry." No, you weren't really defending the country. You were defending a man, if you want to call him that. Anyway, Huttle also vowed to fight the charges. He said, quote, "Those assault charges are not true. I'm going to take it all the way. I'm not cutting a deal. Not true. And I'm not going to stand for it. I'm going to face them in court with my attorney to cross-examine them." So, as you would imagine, that did not happen. He, in December of 2023, pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of assaulting officers with a dangerous weapon and causing serious bodily injury. So he was looking at up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. The government, though, requested 85 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and restitution in an unspecified amount. So prior to sentencing, Huttle's attorney begged for leniency, and he actually had the nerve to tell the judge that his client, quote, "from the beginning, acknowledged the wrongfulness of his conduct, although until he saw the videos, he had no recollection of making contact with the officer with his flagpole." Really? I am not buying it. How do you strike a grown man hard enough to knock him on his ass and you don't know you made contact? Just doesn't ring true. And what about the other officer? What about the other one whose face mask he ripped off? These people, they're just like their apricot antichrist. Unfortunately, U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper presided over Huttle's case. He has been very weak in these cases. This was no exception. Judge Cooper sentenced Huttle to only 30 months in prison, 2 years of probation, and $3,639 in restitution. So not even half of what the prosecutor requested. This is a complete and total joke. For a sentence for assault with a dangerous weapon, and you get 2.5 years, that's it. Wow. Okay. And then he'll be out, with good behavior. How much sooner? Anyway, silver lining, right? We got to look at that. He will not be voting for Trump in November, and maybe Trump won't even be around by the time he gets out. Let's hope. All right. I will let you all know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.